Boom, we are live. Hey guys, you're live again. Try another episode. Let's try that one more time here. Another episode. There we go. We got it out of Trent Talks. This time with Trish Leto, our Facebook Live guru extraordinaire. Happy to have you, Trish.
Oh my God, I'm so excited, Trent. You're crushing it with the live interviews, buddy. I'm proud of you. This is fantastic.
Hey, you know, we talked about this before, and Trish told me just to suck it up and start. So, you know, I sucked it up and started, and I'm enjoying it so far.
And you're doing a great job. So, yay. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
But so anybody that doesn't know Trish or is not familiar with Trish, and you can feel free to correct me if I misstate anything wrong here.
It's okay.
Trish is she is the founder of 5 Minute Lives, and the big tagline that I think sticks well for her, and there's her biggest thing, is about pressing live with purpose. Mm-hmm. Trish is all about teaching business owners and entrepreneurs and empowering them to be able to go live and be effective in doing so. Yep. And just like she did for me, she's very good at giving them confidence to be able to go live and get this process started. So Trish, thank you as well for me for being able to get me going here and get me started. And I'm super excited to have you on. I know this is something that we talked about a while back. I'm like, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it.
No, I'm really proud of you. And no, you said everything perfectly. It's what I do. I absolutely love it. I think that it's one of the most important things for businesses to truly consider working better on and improving if they're trying to build a brand. And pretty much branding is everything, no matter if you're a coach, if you've got a product, a physical, like tangible product, or you're trying to impact people's lives. It happens the best way possible is through branding, and branding happens with authority and credibility. And you build that by showing up and proving that this is what you do. This is how you help people. So yeah, this is why I love to do what I do.
Well, I know you share the story a lot with your community, but people coming across this may not know this. So real quickly, this is one of my favorite stories, by the way. And I love it because most people don't. You've done an amazing job, and I know Gary talks about this, and you fully embraced it, of sharing your journey. Mm-hmm. Because you started your 5 Minute Lives as your side hustle. This is what, 18 months ago now? 2 years ago?
It's been over 2 years. I've been doing the whole digital marketing thing for over 3 years, but the live video marketing definitely has been over 2. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the time has flown by.
And then now you have had the ability, which most people are looking for when they start their side hustle. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You just quit your 9 to 5 last Friday?
Last Friday was last Friday. We did a ribbon cutting ceremony, Facebook Live, and it was really sort of just beautiful chaos. And I say chaos because I was scared out of my mind to leave that corporate paycheck, that stability, that security blanket that we call it. But it was beautiful because like all of my tribe, like everybody popped in, and I felt like everybody had come along that journey with me. Like, so they went through all the emotional ups and downs. Like, I mean, I've definitely gone live and I've shared the struggles and the pains and the ebbs and flows. It's a freaking roller coaster, man. Like, it's not easy.
No, it's not. That's for sure. And that's the thing that I think is the coolest thing that you've done is in this process of, like, one, you creating your brand around 5 Minute Lives and being the Facebook Live expert. And for those that doubt that, I mean, you've been asked to go down with Gary Vee and speak down in Miami at Agent 2020. So you've got your credibility, your badges, if you will, to show that, yeah, I've put in my time and I've been recognized as someone who knows what they're doing in the industry.
Yeah,
but, it hasn't been easy for you. It just hasn't.
It hasn't. It's not easy. And I do. Oh man, the hardest thing. This is the truth. Like, the hard truth of it all is the hardest thing I had to realize was I couldn't rely on other people to like help me like know my value. So, and that's a hard thing. Like, so many people are like, they think that they have to rely on other people to feel that value inside of themselves and that confidence. I had to find that within myself. Like, I really and truly did. It was a lot of self-worth things happening, a lot of imposter syndrome and confidence stuff and mindset stuff. And I was comparing myself to other people way too much. way too much, right? I'm 41 years old. I've got 2 small children. I had a corporate job. My husband's self-employed. Like, we're always busy. We're always busy.
Right.
And I was finding myself comparing myself to, you know.
Whoop, I think we dropped Trish. Hold on one second here. We'll get her right back. Let's see if she's back here. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. You just got dropped. So you were finding yourself comparing yourself to.
I was comparing myself to like 25-year-old men and women, like millennials essentially, who were single and living that laptop lifestyle, quote unquote. And that's not fair. That's not fair. It's not fair to them for me to compare myself to them, because they haven't lived my life. They haven't gone through like my struggles or my triumphs. And I don't know, that's not my life anymore. My life is the life of a mom of 2 beautiful children. My life is my background. My life is my skill set, my knowledge, my marriage, my home, my family. And so once I started really going, well, wait, what the hell? Like, then I started comparing myself to how far I've come. And I will tell you guys right now, I don't care where you are in this business. If you're like, it doesn't matter if you're doing live video or anything. If you're just starting out and you're doing the social media thing, you're trying to build this thing, I want you to look at where you are now in comparison to where you were before. Whether you're 3 months in, 6 months, a year, 3 years in, think about how far you've come and celebrate that, to let that be your measurement of success.
Amen.
Because when I started doing that for myself, that's when I was just like, well, hell, I've come a long, long way. And this is what success looks like to me now. Like this,
like
I am in fact successful.
Avoiding keeping up with the Joneses.
Right.
Because everybody is
so serious.
Everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. You're coming out of different scenarios. Your business is at different points. There's just, it comes down to, I know Gary says it's a lot, it's very being self-aware of where you are.
Yep.
When you become aware of what, yes, very much.
Being happy. And I'm happy. Like, I'm happy with the decision that I made. And I'm okay with failing forward. Like, you have to be okay with that.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to fail. You either fail and move forward, or you fail and just stop doing it and go get a job somewhere else. That's all it happens.
100%. I'm going to piss people off. I'm going to piss myself off. I'm going to piss off my spouse. I'm going to piss off my children. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But that's life, dude. Like, there's no getting around that. It's going to happen. I'm going to piss people off. But right now I'm working on getting systems in place. So that's my top priority.
Well, and then there's the aspect of making right versus wrong decisions. Like, you could overthink them totally. And it's funny, as my wife will tell me this. I am, in every other situation in my life, I am not an overthinker. I'm like, hey, let's just run. I am as spontaneous and like as non-planning as it gets. When it comes to my business, I'm like, well, there's this, and I don't know, will this work? Will that work? And this, and I finally had to stop saying, you know what, screw it. If I mess up, it's, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to cost me some money and maybe a client. Okay, great. I got to do it. I'll make a decision, move forward. That didn't work. Let me go do it the other way. Good. That one worked. Mm-hmm. Versus being 6 months down the road or 3 months down the road and you haven't made a decision. Now you're in the exact same spot.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. I'm ready to talk about Facebook Lives. That's what I want to talk about.
Absolutely. No, let's do this. Seriously, let's do it. Hold on one second. I'm going to close these doors because my husband came in and we never closed the door.
No worries.
Oh, did you see my unicorn? I want everybody to see the unicorn, because this is what's gonna help us segue into Facebook Live and 5-minute lives. So a very good friend of mine sent me this incredible unicorn, and it says, "You are magical," and I love this. So this is what actually started the whole thing. It's kind of crazy how a mythical character like launched this whole thing, but unicorns are magical, and they're actually, if you were to study them, they're the healers. We're healers, right? So I had a copywriting mentor that challenged me to come up with a 2-sentence, like, not an elevator pitch, but a 2-sentence marketing description of my business. And at first I was just like, okay, what do you mean? Like, help me out. Let me understand what you mean. He's like, yeah, he goes, so you're going to say something totally ridiculous is the first sentence. And then the second sentence explains the ridiculousness. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, oh, you know, so he used like a Thor reference. He's like, yeah, he goes, I write copy like Thor because I put the hammer down on words, and then I open up, you know, parallel universes for people to explore their options.
Something that's memorable. Yeah.
Like something crazy. So I was like, okay. I said, well, you know, the unicorn's been very prevalent in my business. It's been a pretty magical thing for me. So I was like, well, I guess I run a unicorn nursery. And at first that's what we said. And then I was like, no, that doesn't feel right. I'm like, maybe instead of a nursery, I'm a unicorn breeder. He's like, okay, yeah. Why are you a unicorn breeder? And I said, because I turn average entrepreneurs into magical beings who press live with purpose and increase revenue with 5-minute lives. And he's like, that is literally your business now. Congratulations.
There you go. You're done. That's your business plan.
That's it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I just I created 5-minute lives. 5-minute lives is just a very simple yet effective method that I'm teaching people to use so that they increase their confidence. They have a structured piece to their live video, right? Because some people were going live for like half an hour, 45 minutes, over an hour, and there was no structure. There was no call to action. They were rambling. You kind of hear a lot of ums happening. And I was like, oh God, if I could just get my hands on that person and just help them a little bit. And
so don't you make fun of my ums.
And I don't make fun of them, but I coach to it, and I love to do that because I feel like if you can get through conveying that message really effectively in 5 minutes, then you're done, and your audience isn't going, oh geez, now what the hell are they talking about for like 15? Right. Nobody's going to pay attention to you for that long. Not by yourself, not even me.
Right.
And I say not even me because I can go live next to my whiteboard, and I notice like people come and go. It ebbs and flows. I'll get viewers and then they'll drop off. I'll get 20 people and then they'll drop off, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I'm there with a purpose. So you're
there delivering content value no matter what. So they can come back and view it whenever they want. They may stay for that time. They may come back later.
And that's where the Press Live with Purpose came into play, because I kept telling people, I'm like, you're going to go live sometimes and nobody's going to pop in, especially if you've never done it before, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to go live and nobody's going to pop in live. But I want you to speak to the camera as if there are thousands of people watching you, because that's the capability of it. And you're not going to leave it on Facebook. You're going to download it, Press Live with Purpose. You're going to download it. You're going to cut it up in little bits and pieces, put it on Instagram, put it into stories, put it on Snapchat, put it onto LinkedIn, put it onto YouTube, put it into an email, put it into your chat bot, send it out to your friends. Like, this is what we do. This is why I say Press Live with Purpose, because it's with the purpose and intention of spreading that out like wildfire to people to help them increase their business, increase their lives, make them happy, right? So that's where it kind of all started.
So first question, just be super direct on you here. What is for someone who's never done it before? I mean, I can tell, I know where I was at, and I know how for me it was a challenge thing. You're like, nobody's going to show up. And you know, like you just talked, you start thinking about all these other things. So what do you say if someone's saying, you know, I know my business would, or I think my business would benefit, I know it would benefit. What's the number? What's like the first step of saying, just do it? Is it just go live, or is there something that tips you would give them to say, okay, this will make it easier for you to go live?
And that tip is market research. It's like people are like, that sounds boring and it sounds lame and whatever. But if you have never gone live before and you're nervous about going live, the reason why you're nervous is because your confidence is lacking on your topic, right? So I don't care if you've been in your business for 15 years or 15 days, right? That business exists for a reason. You need to go on social media, on YouTube, on Google, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, and find out what people are currently talking about that's relative to your industry. Grab a topic, go press live. Just talk about it. It could be a podcast you listen to. It could be a book you read. Could be a conversation thread you caught. But Or it could be just you and just say, hey, here's a little story about me that I bet nobody knew. I just wanted to share this story, because people are going to be connected to who you are as a person. What you do as a business is just the added bonus.
That's a good point. You know, it's interesting you say that about the content, because I know you, especially even when I was starting, like the first thing I thought of was, okay, look, I have to figure out, what am I going to teach today? You know, I have to teach, I have to educate, I have to, you know, when I go live, I have to bring insane amounts of value and just have to like be able to teach people about this topic. And I felt that pressure every time I would go live to say, I have to do this. And it became something where I was kind of, you procrastinate because you weren't super excited about what you're going to teach. You're looking for something better, or you're looking to do a different topic, or find a better way to structure that verbiage. And I think that's a really good point you make about just talking about the hot topics relevant in your industry, because people, as you give your opinions, they're going to say, I like this person's opinions. I agree with what they say. That's why I follow this person.
Or they don't, and now you're one less person that doesn't like your content. They're clogging up your content pipeline. If they're like, wow, this guy is crass and he's a jerk and he's like this and he's like that, and I don't agree with that. People are full of opinions, right?
Absolutely.
So if somebody doesn't like me and the way I convey my content, peace out, bye. Like, that's fine. I'm not bothered by haters, right? Because there's like thousands of other people that I'm helping. So,
well, it's funny that you say that, because I remember the first time, and granted, I'm not, you know, I'm just started out just doing this, and I love it. And I've had a lot of good feedback. People say, oh, it's great value. You know, we love what you're doing. But at the same time, I had my first comment that somebody said, you really shouldn't be on there. You're fat and ugly. And I'm like, my first thought was like, oh, I'm hurt. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It's kind of cool, actually. Like, that means I'm actually out. Like, someone took enough time to give me crap feedback, which means that someone sees me as much of an authority that they're going to try and tear me down. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, okay, fine. I can deal with that. And it's like that mentality you have to shift about just saying, this is what I told my wife, I've reached a spot where I'm finally only caring about what goes on here.
There you go.
And that's the hardest part, I think.
That's why you have to have a tribe, dude. I'm telling you. It's 100%, because I have had comments. I've had people, you know, it doesn't happen often, and I knock on wood, because I feel like, you know, Murphy's Law, you try to make everybody happy, somebody's pissed off about it, right?
Always.
And that's just how it's going to be. There's going to be people that are like, oh, Trish Leto doesn't know what the hell she's doing with live video marketing, because there's somebody out there who uses, you know, extravagant cameras and has a friggin' backdrop, and that person's crushing it. They work with, so I don't care. That's not me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to show up as me. And that's what matters, because people are attracted to me for a reason. I don't compare myself to that other person. Trent, what you're doing, people are attracted to you for a reason. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's going to come on and have a nasty opinion about you, screw them. God, I want to curse so bad right now. Screw them. I'm telling you, they don't matter. And I will proverbially throat punch them in a heartbeat, because you're doing the damn thing, man. You're doing the damn thing. You're doing what so many other people are scared out of their mind to do. You're showing up. You're bringing people who are impactful influencers across social media, across the board. You're bringing them on your show, and you are the curator, right? You need to own that and freaking like rock on, brother, because you're doing it right. So there's going to be people that are pissed off about it. And guess what? They're going to be pissed off for the rest of their lives, because they have their own insecurities. So there you have it.
Yeah. All right. So from a practical standpoint, because it's easy it's really easy to think of like digital marketing and online businesses. Okay, you know, hey, I'm a marketer, I'm this, I'm that. It makes natural sense to go online, to go live. Whether you're comfortable or not, a different story, but it makes sense. Right. So what would you be your feedback? Like, what is your advice to someone who's got a brick and mortar? You know, maybe you're a restaurant. Maybe, to be honest, I said this the other podcast. Maybe you're like, we have, that's right, you're not far away. You're in St. Pete. Like we have down here, errands. Maybe you're errands.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah. But maybe it's like your errands. You do rental of like laundry machine, like rent to own laundry machines or TVs or fridges. And like, what's your advice to people who are in a very practical, like brick and mortar business on how to utilize Facebook Lives and online to benefit that business?
I would say to practice attraction marketing and experience marketing. So attraction marketing is going to be, if you're a brick and mortar in your local, like say, there's one like right down the street from me, then I would use attraction marketing as the business manager. And maybe there's somebody who's got a great personality in there. And I would do a live video and just introduce the staff and say, hey, here are the people who are going to help you when you walk in here, right? And get to know them, know a little bit about their background, know their personality. Are they laughing? Are they having a good time? Right? So, this is what we got going on here. You can even start out using stories, like Instagram stories and Facebook stories. Instead of just using live video, you could use stories, because the stories are going to start the algorithm coming to you, right? That algorithmic piece is really important. That's why so many businesses use stories, right? So start using stories and like get people attracted to that kind of a staff, to those kind of a people. This is who you're going to deal with when I walk in. The experience is, here's what we're going to show you about these different types of appliances, right? What's the experience I'm going to have if I buy that refrigerator? Is it going to be a double door open, and then you can have the person that you're already attracted to as a salesperson, and then be like, hey, open this up, and you open up the trays, and you're opening up the bottom. You're like I have a brand new refrigerator that my husband and I bought like a month or so ago, and I freaking love it. Like, I literally want to go get the affiliate link like right now and do an entire Facebook Live about this damn refrigerator. I love this refrigerator. Like, it's like changed my life, right? Do you know how many people would go to that shop if I worked there as a salesperson and talked about how my life changed with the refrigerator?
How much different is,
Dude, right? Attraction marketing and experience marketing, right? They're going to be attracted to who you are as that brand, as that place. And then what's the experience going to be like when I work with you? Are you selling me a home loan? Are you selling me a refrigerator? Or are you selling me the embroidery that you're going to do on my shirt?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's
the product or service doesn't matter. It's selling the experience behind it. It goes back to what we talked about when you and I were chatting before the show, where you start talking about the story that ties in with the business.
100%.
And that's where I see Facebook Live having such a huge place to be able to share those stories on a daily basis.
100%.
And not just in stories, but in the lives.
And that's where a lot of businesses are like, oh, we can't afford to pay for Facebook ads. Then don't. You literally have this thing. It's free. I almost cursed again.
I like it. That was fantastic. The delay. Oh, I love it.
It's freaking free. Damn, I'm getting better at this, but God, I get so pumped up. But I get so many businesses that are like, I don't know how to do that. Well, then learn or hire a social influencer. There's plenty of people in any like city or town, right? There's plenty of people. There's got to be at least one social media person in your city that you could reach out to and go, would you come to our establishment and help us promote, please? Just say it. It might be something that we're working on right now. So me and my partner, my business partner, Marianne Raymond, we're doing a thing saying Trish and Marianne taste Tampa Bay. So we're going out to restaurants, food trucks, and breweries, like craft beer places, and we want to make them famous on Facebook Live. We want to come in there. We want to meet your staff. We want to meet your bartender. Who am I gonna have serving me that day if I come in? Right. And what's your best brew? Is it an IPA? It's a little bit hoppy, not for me, but for somebody else. They're like, hell yeah, I want that IPA. Or is it going to be, are we going to focus on a dish that you have? Like the buffalo shrimp at Tampa Bay Brewing Company in Ybor City is delicious.
I'll check that out then.
So have fun with it is my point. Like, have fun with it, guys. Like, that's what social media is for. Have fun.
Fair enough. What are the mistakes people make?
Mistakes people make. So here is my iPhone. When you go live and you do it horizontally, like landscape, make sure your volume buttons are up top. If they are on the bottom, you're going to be upside down. That's one mistake.
That's a big one.
That's one mistake. Here's another one. If you go live and you're standing next to a whiteboard or you're teaching and you've got letters in the background, or maybe you've got a shirt on that's like a branded shirt, make sure you do the mirror flip on your phone. Now, I think on Android it might be a little bit different, but I'll show you what I mean. Like if I'm going to go live right now I've got a portrait. There's a little magic wand down here, okay? And then I turn my phone, and then within the magic wand, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little tool set. It's a wrench and a screwdriver, okay? And from there, there's three little buttons. The one all the way to the left is a mirror flip. So if I flip that, and I'm facing it, like at the camera on me, then now people can see the words on my whiteboard. It's not going this way, it's going the right way.
So on an iPhone then, I'm assuming you have to then, do you still use the camera flip and flip it around? Or do you have to flip it over and look at it from the back?
Nope, I have it facing me and I look at it. Yeah, and so those are two really big mistakes I see people make.
That makes sense. Because then you can't read any of the words or anything on the screen if it's all backwards and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. I've seen that. And I'm like, I wonder how that happened. And I think I've done it before without even realizing, like I end up flipping it anyway.
Well, and I see people kind of do, and I hate to say this, so I'm just going to throw this out here, guys, like just take it for what it's worth. But I kind of call it ego marketing. When people do Facebook Lives and they're sitting at their desk and they've got their whiteboard behind them and the words are backwards and they've got like a really cool branded shirt on and they're kicked all back and like, sit up. Have a little bit of pride. Flip that mirror over so that people can see your whiteboard. Make sure that people can see what your t-shirt says. Like good for you. You're doing the thing, but have a little
things that can help you do the thing a little better.
I mean, I'm just saying you kind of look a little bit douchey when you don't have that camera flipped over. I'm just saying.
I get I'm with you. All right, so you mentioned stories. So this is I think something that I've dealt with before, and I honestly I probably still deal with this now when I'm sitting thinking about it. What parts are the ideal parts to say, okay, this is where I should go with story, or here's where I should take it live? You follow what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're like, okay, should I just put this in the story and just take a couple quick stories or take a photo and do it, or should I actually go live and talk about this? I know it comes back a little bit to your kind of what you were saying, where you're planning your lives out and being intentional about going live, having a purpose. But how do you factor stories into that?
I think that different people do it different ways. I think it kind of depends on your brand. So with me, I'm really working hard on this to stay consistent with it, but I try to start my stories on Instagram. And the reason why I do this is because I can hold that button down and it'll roll over 15 seconds and another 15 seconds into another 15 seconds. And you can go in and you can like creatively have some fun with each individual story. So I could have like rolling stories for like a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. And I keep that button held down and I'm talking to my audience. Each one that's 15, I think it's 15 seconds.
Yes, 15.
Each one that's 15 seconds on Instagram. You can go in and you can change the trim, or you could change the filter. You can add a mention. You can check in. You could add like a little GIF, whatever. And then you can upload the whole thing onto Instagram stories and Facebook stories at the same time.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what I do. Everybody's going to be a little bit different with how they do that. And then there's other people who they have on Instagram over 10,000 followers. And if they have really good stories going on, they can offer the swipe up feature. Right.
Okay. Now here's the other thing. When you're looking at the pages, I think I mentioned this to you a little bit when we talked a couple months back. I think the hardest decision sometimes for people to figure out is, where do I start going live? Meaning, do I start on my personal profile? Do I start on my business page? Where do I start? Should I start at Instagram and download it from there and save it? Or, where do I go live?
Oh, man. Okay.
Or do you think it just doesn't matter?
No, it does. I think it does. I think that if you're just starting out, that you should brand yourself on your personal page, as long as you're not being spammy and ridiculous, right? Because we want to make sure that, first of all, people don't like that. They don't like the spam and they'll unfollow you and whatever. So I say start branding yourself on your personal page. And if you have like a really strong call to action, it could be for people to go like your business page, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you start getting it going, like I'm now doing lives from my business page and I'm teaching my face off. And like, I'm noticing that I'm getting over 300 views in a day. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, baby Jesus. Like, cause I was unsure about it myself. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen if I start doing more lives on my business page. But I branded myself like ridiculously on my personal page. And I told my audience, hey, now that I've gone all in, come see me on my business page. That's where I'm going to be doing my lives. So now everybody's like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to get.
So now, do you still go live on your personal page though?
Sometimes, yep. Sometimes.
So when you do that, is that more of the fun? Like, this is our family time. This is the personal side of.
It's more of like I show up like in gratitude, or I'm talking about like some things that are going on, like sharing the journey, because I think that that's important. Gotcha. I think people have followed me so long that they want to know what's going on. Like, I mean,
but once you built the brand, you shift the business, the teaching side over to your business page. Once you built the brand.
I recommend that. I think you should just kind of test it out and find out like what's going to work. Like if I know that I'm going to go live on my business page and I'm going to like build a funnel live or mess around with a chat bot and show people chat bots, I'm selling something, right? Yeah. Like I'm selling something. I'm going to go live on my business page because that's where I'm conducting business, right? If I'm going to go live on my personal page and be like, hey, I'm reading this book, Crushing It by Gary Vee. Here's a part where he talks about Twitter. Then I could read from his book, not selling anything. I'm just telling people this is a great book. Yeah, I'm just saying.
You mean this one?
Yeah, that's a great book. And I had somebody pop onto that live when I did that, and they're like, holy crap, this is awesome. Like that, what a great idea to go live with. And I'm like, I legitimately, like I could go live and talk about how much I love these damn Ice Cube gums, you know? Like,
oh, they're so good. They're like, you can't listen. I'm telling myself here now, I'm gonna get in trouble because we give a hard time. My oldest daughter, she likes to actually eat the gum, and I don't have a heart to always tell my wife that when I eat stuff like that, I end up, I'm like, it's good, and I swallow it, and I grab another one, and I eat it like candy. But yeah, they're really good.
It's great. It's so good. I mean, I got the grape. I got the raspberry sorbet the other day, and as I'm walking out of the store, I'm singing the Prince raspberry sorbet.
Crap! I just told myself she tuned in. Darn it!
Only people who love Prince would get that reference. Just saying. So anyway, yeah, no, it's. And if you do go live on your business page, like it's okay to go, like to start the live there, give people a heads up. What I do is I'll tell people, hey, I'm going to go live on my business page on my personal profile, and then I'll put the link to my business page in the first comment so they can go there and they can like it and like get notifications. And then sometimes when I go live on my business page, I'll tag my personal page. So that way it shows up in my newsfeed. So, right. I mean, there's a couple of different ways that you could do it, but yeah, it's, you know, it's just test it out. Like there's really no like,
I think that's the thing.
Answer. It's just there's not.
Testing will show you.
Somebody's laughing at me because I sang raspberry sorbet.
That would be my wife.
That's awesome.
But all right. So here's what I'm gonna kind of wrap up. I know we've both got crazy days.
Yeah, right now, I have to do a live on my business page in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just saying. I thought I remembered it was 1:00. So here's the question: what do you want to? If you could leave everybody with one thing, what would you say? Your biggest piece that you would tell them, remember this one thing.
You know, I have people ask me this often, and I think I feel like it's just like the right thing because it's what got me, it's what lit a fire under me, okay? My one thing, honestly, is anybody who feels any kind of reluctancy about doing video and using video to really get their brand out there. There are like 12-year-old girls on YouTube curling their hair with a flat iron, making thousands of dollars a week doing it.
Yeah.
Don't let them beat you, right? And at any given time, somebody is looking up what you know how to do or what you are a professional at on YouTube. That should be your video. So don't lose out to the people who are doing the damn thing. Just start doing it yourself.
Start doing it. All right. So if people want to work with you, where do they find more information? They want to get a course about 5-minute lives. Where do they go?
So the course, they can just go to trishleto.com. My course is available on my website. Or if you want to really link up with me, I'm really making LinkedIn like my homie right now. So as much as I love Facebook, LinkedIn is a very huge veteran connection on LinkedIn, and I just love it. I definitely, I get nailed with messages on Facebook all the time. So if you want to get my attention, hit me up on LinkedIn. And yeah, I mean, but I will say this, I don't play around. Like, you can go to my website, you can download my blueprint for free, but I've got private clients, I've got students, and I'm very committed to them. So awesome. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Trish, it's been an honor, been a pleasure. I love it. I'm glad we got to do this. This is so much fun.
Yay.
So if you're not following Trish, I think we have her Instagram in the comments below. It is _expert_connection_ on Instagram. Be sure to check her out. You can get me at Real Trent Evans on Instagram. Guys, this is Trent Talks. That's Trish Leto. I'm Trent Evans, and it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you guys later.
Yay.
I really hope you enjoyed and got a lot of value of this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. I'm going to be answering all the comments myself. And also, come find me on your favorite social media platform and tell me what else I can help you with.